They could be the key to preventing deadly overdoses.
Possibly. Test strips as cheap as $5 that promise to detect the powerful painkiller fentanyl. But experts tell West 2's Dave McDaniel these tests are far from perfect.
He could light up a room, 100%.
Stacy Felter lost her son Tristan more than a year ago. He was only 27.
He loved to make people laugh, but he was the funniest person I've ever met.
An injury led to medical treatment and later a reliance on the painkillers he was initially prescribed, but could no longer get.
He would occasionally buy from the drug dealer.
A fentanyl-laced pill ended his life.
7 out of 10 pills they confiscate have a lethal dose of fentanyl.
In March, the Orange County Office for a Drug-Free Community partnered to use cash from the National Opioid Settlement to get fentanyl test strips out into the community. 8,000 distributed in just 8 weeks.
We don't encourage drug use, but for people who are using drugs, we want to provide them with alternatives to dying.
Project Opioid is part of that program.
We've got to make sure our young people have every tool available to stay alive.
The Centers for Disease Control calls fentanyl test strips a harm reduction strategy, with steps on how to use them while writing, fentanyl test strips are a low-cost method of helping prevent drug overdoses and reducing harm. The nasal sprays to treat people who are overdosing are readily available, and people know quite a bit about them. The fentanyl test strips, something more recently available.
Whatever we can do to save lives, I think, is the most important thing we have to do.
Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lima chairs the state's opioid task force and suggests test strip usage needs to be measured by the person's ability to conduct the test and by the oh-so-tiny amount that can still be lethal.
50 times more potent than heroin, almost equivalent to 8 grains of salt is a lethal dose. It's so potent and it's so small that just by testing it does not mean it's safe.
Saying that's especially true if it's a pill bought on the street, then only a portion is crushed and tested.
I would not feel 100% comfortable and safe that that drug does not have fentanyl in it based upon the portion of the drug that they tested.
If you need a fentanyl strip to see if it has something in it, I don't think you should take it at all. That's my advice. But yes, if you're gonna do it, I guess yes.
Tristan's mom points to the way counterfeit pills are produced, not by chemists, but illegally for profit. Even two sides of the same pill could test differently.
What if half of it doesn't show up as fentanyl, but the other side pressed with the fentanyl? I just say don't take it, period.
Even test strip advocates agree the strips only reduce the risk, not eliminate it.
You don't know where the fentanyl is in the pill. You know, it's not like it's equally distributed. We don't have pharmaceuticals putting these pills together.
Tristan's mom isn't sure if her son would have even used the strips if they were available because he trusted his source. To avoid the heartache she faced,
don't take anything that you were not prescribed by your doctor.
Dave McDaniel, West 2 News.
And that's the message that mom wants to echo, that taking illegal drugs is never the right answer. Test strips can also be purchased online. We posted this information on the local program, so finding those test strips on WESH.com.